Happy Tuesday, Wholesale to Million family. I'm back with another subscriber first wholesale deal interview today. Man, I have him coming on, sharing with you guys. Gary just closed his first wholesale deal back in December 20th of 2018 for 17G. You guys, also too, the reason why I'm doing these kind of interview is to let you guys know that, you know, they're regular people just like you out there doing deals every single day. And just to let you believe that it's not just for the big guru or whatever it is, but there's people out there doing deals every single day. So that way, you know that you can do it too. And if you recently closed your first wholesale deal, then email me. The email is going to be in the description, but email me at wholesale2millions@gmail.com, and let's bring you on to the show, share your stories and your first wholesale deal. And the reason why we're doing this is that giving you guys inspiration, motivations, and obviously, hopefully you'll be able to get some tips and nuggets from this so you can implement and go out there and create your own success and get your first wholesale deal done. You guys, put your thumb, smash the thumbs up. Help me welcome Gary from Arlington, Texas. What up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to finally be on here. I've been watching it a lot.
Awesome, man. I mean, for some of you guys, your goal is to get onto the channel.
Yeah,
right?
Honestly, I was always like, I'm going to get on there one day. That's why I sent it to you as soon as I got the check. I was like, let me send it over to Khang.
Love it, man. And for those of you guys who haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up on IG. There is where you can find Gary's pictures with his check. He's smiling. He's loving it. Go to Khang, Khang .WTM. Let's not waste any more time, you guys. Smash that thumbs up for our guest, Gary. So tell us about your story, man. Kind of like when I say stories, like I need to know where you're at, like with your life, and then how do you transition? Like, give me the bad, the ugly, and everything, bro.
Let's see. So basically, I wanted to do real estate for a long time, but I thought, well, actually, my whole adult life, I wanted to do real estate, but I always thought that I had to be perfect financial, like have perfect credit and have a lot of money saved up to be able to buy property. And then like earlier, I believe it was earlier, well, not this year, it's 2019. So 2018, I found out about wholesaling. And it was like, I think I found out probably at the beginning of the year, like right around this time last year, I found out about wholesaling, but I never really looked too much into it until like maybe a couple months later. And then I started finding the channels, finding your channel. I found, Max Maxwell. I think you did an interview with him before. Found his channel. Those are the main channels that I watch over and over again from beginning to end. Like, I think I've watched all the videos at least 3 times by now. So I watched those, but I was in the process of getting my CDL at the time. So, like, anytime I was on the truck, I was watching videos, doing research. And then finally, I decided, let's say, in August, so I actually got in a car accident, and I was like, man, I have no vehicle now, and I was like, but I do have a little bit of time to try to do something. So I had no time to actually try to do real estate. So I was like, I got a little bit of time to try. Within like the first 3 weeks, I got 2 properties under contract, so I got super excited, and then I ended up not closing them. But I had been bit by the bug by then. I was like, okay, hold up. If I got the contracts and it was only 3 weeks, eventually I'm going to close something. It took a while to actually close something, but like I was grinding it out. Like I ended up losing my laptop like within the first month of trying. So I was down to just my Android phone. And sometimes the phone wasn't even on because I didn't have the extra money to keep the phone on. So I was just going to the library trying to use the internet. I was putting up Craigslist ads. I was all on groups on Facebook, and I ended up getting that deal. Like I literally had a $50 Android phone to do that. Like Craigslist ads, doing all my research through Zillow, and now I actually bought a laptop just for this interview. So good looking out.
Gary, dude, bro, love the story, man. Dude, wow, dude. Just incredible, man. So, Gary, wait, if I didn't misheard you, you said you were a truck driver?
Yeah, I was in training for being a truck driver. I actually got my CDL, and the whole reason for me going to truck driving school is because I was like, I'll be on the road all day, all night. I'll have plenty of money to save up for what? For real estate. And I was like, I was going to buy a rental property. and, like this whole time, like around the same time I decided to do that is when I found out about wholesaling. And I was reading about it and everything, but I've also seen other strategies for, you know, the whole no money down and everything like that. And I've tried it a little bit before. I never never had any success. So when I saw a wholesale, I was like reading about it, but I wasn't really trying it. But like I said, I ended up getting a car accident at the end of the summer, and I had a little time period to be doing absolutely nothing, and I had zero money. Like I had like negative money. There's no way I was putting any money. So I remember it took me 3 days to decide to put $5 towards a Facebook ad, to boost a Facebook ad. I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait another day and see if I'm gonna spend that $5. But that's the most I ever spent.
Man, dude, Gary, oh man, dude, love the story, bro. See, a lot of times you guys, you know, things happen for a reason, and you can only connect the dots by looking backward. And it seems like it's a blessing in the sky, even though you got in an accident at the time. It might look like, you know, the sky is dark, it's all gray, nothing is flowing your way. But man, because of that happens, it lets you to a better opportunity, and obviously an opportunity where you can create your own, your own life, man, bro, dude. Awesome, man. Wow, bro. All right, dude, let's get into your first wholesale deal story, bro. So how did you, okay, now what I want to know is that, so when you come across wholesaling, was it a video, a book, like what was it?
With that, I don't remember. I'm going to say it was most likely going to be YouTube, though, when I came across it. I'm not exactly sure who it was, if it was you or if it was Max at the time. I know y'all channels are the only ones that I stuck with since then, but I don't know exactly how the word wholesaling got into my mind. But I know for some reason I decided to research it, and I came across you and Max, and I've been rocking with y'all ever since.
Love it, bro. Love it. Okay, dude. So let's get into your first wholesale deal. Is that we want to all know is where the lead come from, and then, you know, how you found your buyers and etc. Go ahead, bro.
The lead was weird. It was kind of like a cross between a referral and posting. Because when I first came across this, it was a landlord, a tired landlord at that. So when I first came across them, it was a time where my cell phone wasn't on. So I was actually at a library, and I used Google Voice to text them. And we texted a little bit back and forth for a little while, but for some reason we stopped texting. I don't even understand why. But then maybe 2 months later, like I said, I didn't have any money, so I did everything on Facebook groups and was always in there. I had met a contractor who actually went and looked at a burnt out house for me, and then he ended up hitting me for that landlord later after we didn't talk after 2 months. And he was like, hey, I have a landlord who is trying to get rid of properties. And then he gave her my name, and she was like, hey, I talked to him before. And so she went through her phone, found my name, and then got in contact with me. So at the same time I was about to contact her, and she was contacting me. She had a few houses, so it was about 6 houses, I believe. Some of them were overpriced, some of them were in bad shape, and some of them were good. And that's the one that sold first. I actually have the other ones on the contract still, but we sold that one. We sold the second one. The day after I sent you that picture, there was another closing. That was for like a couple grand. And then I have another one that hasn't closed yet, still working on it. And then I have the other ones under contract, so I'm trying to see if I can get those done. But I mean, it was kind of weird how we came across each other twice. Just like you said, everything happened for a reason, because we stopped talking, and then all of a sudden we got connected again. And she already remembered the conversation we had through text. And when I met her, when we started talking again, my phone was off again. And I had to figure out a way. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to explain to this lady that I can help her if I can't even keep my cell phone on. And so I was like, it took me at least 3 days to actually just tell her, like, hey, I didn't tell her flat out, yeah, I didn't pay my cell phone bill. I was just like, yeah, I'm having issues with my cell phone, so it was okay if we text, and she didn't have a problem with it. So we texted for a while until I actually went. She was about an hour and a half away, and I remember the person that drove me to her appointment, we was putting $10 in the tank like 3 different times just trying to get there. We went and saw all the houses, came all the way back, and then I finally was able to get my cell phone bill paid. We had our first actual on-phone conversation for like 3 hours. But, I mean, it worked. It's working.
You guys, these are the kind of stories that I just love hearing. And I don't get tired of hearing stories like this over and over and over again, because I felt like, you know, that it's like when you hear stories like this, it really juices and pumps you up that, you know, if it's like, if you want it, you can make it happen. It's
Exactly.
awesome, bro. Awesome, dude. So now with the lady, it's kind of refer from the guy, and you said a post. Where was that post come from?
This was just me putting up ads on like the marketplaces on Facebook. Like, you know, the We Buy Houses ads, just putting those up. So I was doing those. I had a schedule on my phone to where I'll just pick up my phone and then post the ad on either Craigslist, and I had like, you know, the multiple email accounts so I can get everything posted and everything. So I'm pretty sure that was the Facebook ad, like one a regular Photoshop We Buy Houses post on there, and she contacted me. We texted back and forth. Like I said, I don't know why we ended up stopped talking,
Gotcha.
but I'm glad we got in contact again though.
Awesome, man. So she got 6 houses, and you put 6 houses under contract.
All right.
And you put them on separate contract, not all bundled together.
Correct.
Smart. How do you know how to do that, Gary?
I don't know. I just figured, because I remember she wanted them as a package deal. And I told her, let's go ahead. I mean, I just told her it makes more sense to do them separate so that not one place can hold up a whole deal. I'm like, if something comes up with this one or that one, which is perfect because some issue came up with the property that sold first. And if it was a package deal, everything would have been held up. And I'm like, so let's just go ahead and do. So we sat on the phone, discussed the number for each one, and made sure that all of them combined would come up to the price that the amount she wanted for all of the properties. And just worked it out like that. But I mean, it just made more sense to me to do it with all of them separate.
Gotcha, man. So Gary, so when she contact you, she contact you knowing that you are the cash buyer, right?
No, she contacted me knowing that I was going to find a cash buyer, basically.
Oh,
like
really?
that's what yeah. I told her up front. I was like, yeah, I work with other cash buyers. I have a cash buyers list, and they are looking for houses like right now. And she told me she had a real estate agent that was going to list them and things like that. But I mean, she just went with me after we talked. We talked so much. We built a lot of rapport. We were talking about other things besides real estate. Every time I talked to her on the phone, it was at least 2 to 3 hours. Now, like, we're really talking a lot. So she was cool with me. So I'm glad. Like, the first time we talked, it wasn't even about real estate. It was just about everything she wants to do once she gets done being a landlord. And that was like a 3-hour conversation. So building rapport is important, very important.
Gotcha, man. So what's the reason why, the reason why she's selling because she don't want to be a landlord anymore?
Yeah, she was just tired. People weren't paying rent and she was fixing up places. They've been fixing up places since like the late 70s.
Wow.
And doing it over and over, renting out places. She was just done.
Gotcha,
and she had a business idea for something else that she wanted to do. So she just wanted to sell everything and start something new.
Gotcha. So the 6 house, are they all rented or are they vacant? Like what's the story?
They were all rentals, but only at this time, only 2 of them were rented out or had tenants.
Gotcha. Okay, so 2 of them was rented. The other 4 is vacant.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, since she knows that you are going to find the cash buyer for it, do you have to put down any earnest money?
No, $10. That's what I learned to do $10. So that's how much I did. We never talked about earnest money. I just put it on the contract and sent it to her, and she signed it and sent it back. We never had a discussion about earnest money.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm not gonna even ask you where you get the $10, bro.
I didn't get the $10, really. I just sent it to the title company and it closed out. I guess they got it from the buyer. I never had the $10, honestly. So.
Yeah. All right, man. So now those 6 houses, how long did you put it? How long did you tie it up in a contract for? 30 days, 60 days, like what?
14. First one was 14, and then I got a extension for another 10 days. And that was just because of something that was misunderstood during the first closing. So it had an extension put on it, but I mean, yeah, the first one was 14. So I guess altogether, 24 days. And the other ones are gonna expire here soon. I haven't had a buyer for at least two more of the properties I'm still looking for a buyer for. Because they're kind of unique. It's house made into a triplex that used to be something else before. So, I mean, it's a little more challenging.
Cool, man. I mean, hopefully that by the toward the end of the show, we'll tell a little bit about your deal and see if maybe someone might JV with you. You never know. So now, how do you find the buyer for your first deal?
Just my list. I just went to different forums, Facebook, and you know how when you see people post, I need buyers for my buyers list. So I was just doing the same thing and just made a list, sent it out to people, one person at a time. Because I still haven't figured out how to send more than just a few emails at a time. For some reason, like it's not working from my phone. So I had to send it to one at a time, and then eventually he came back. Like several people came back. Like I had several buyers that were interested, but it just went to him first.
So your buyer came from Facebook?
I don't know where he came from. It was just a list. It could have been from Craigslist, because like I said, I was putting up ads all the time. He could have came from Craigslist with me looking for a cash buyer. He could have came from Facebook with me looking for a cash buyer. Or I'm also member to some of the forums, like the local real estate groups. I'm members of those. So, I mean, I just have a list. I didn't put who they came from. When they give me the email and phone number, I just put them on the list, their criteria.
Gotcha.
I'm not exactly sure where one came from.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. So, but Gary, so what I want to know is that what are some of the lists that you are attracting these cash buyers? You mentioned Craigslist, Facebook, the local RIA. What else? Where else? Or is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I looked up when I go to Google. I went to Google and just looked up like Texas real estate investor forums and things like that, and I just started signing up for all of them. And then when I would get on them, I'm saying I'm looking for cash buyers. I'm in the DFW area, and then they'll give me their email, phone number, and I'll just add them to a list. And I just kept doing that over and over.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome, man. So now this cash buyer here came in contact with you, and I suppose out of the 6 house, was this the vacant one?
No, this was actually one. The ones that are rented went first.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
Those, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, how did you set up the showing?
I just called the landlord or the lady that I was dealing with and said, hey, they want to come by and see it. Because like I said, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. and I already struggled to get there once. So I was like, I'm gonna have somebody come down. Can you just let the tenants know that they're coming? And then she was like, yeah, she'll do it. I had maybe a few people go because I was still, I'm still brand new, so I didn't understand that it was best to do like a group viewing for somebody that's renting out a place. And so I had somebody go there one day, and then somebody go there a couple days later, and then I kind of wore that tenant out. And so I was like, see, that's the reason why I should have just had a showing day. But luckily, one of the people that went there, because she actually stopped letting people come in after that. She already interested, and so I got saved by that.
Gotcha, man. So you show it to, how many buyers did you have to show it to?
3.
Show it through three buyers?
Yeah, only 3 buyers. One of the first ones bought it. Like the very first one that went through was the one who ended up buying it. Like there's 2 other people that went and they wanted it, but the first guy had already said he was putting his deposit down and everything. He ended up doing it and following through. So
Gotcha.
just went to the first.
Gotcha. So Gary, this property was what, 1 or 2 hours away from where you live?
Yeah.
And how did you get there? Uber?
Oh no, it was actually my sister,
Oh.
and we was both hurt. We was both hurt. And I was like, "Look, we gotta go do this." And she was like, "She, that's my sister. She got my back." So she was like, "Okay." It was just doing the little $5-10 in the tank. Like, okay, hopefully this will get us there. And then, and then we was there all day though. Like, shout out to my sister because she came through on that one. We had her son with us and everything. We went on a road trip. But we went and saw all those houses, and I literally took pictures, like 1,000 pictures and videos of every house, so I don't have to come back because, like I said, it was a struggle getting there. Well, I can't come back over here, so took pictures, videos, everything, and got everything I needed, and then we came back.
Awesome, man. Is your sister there?
No, she's not here right now.
Okay, cool, man. So you
can
showed
give her a shout out though, since she watches your channel too, though.
Awesome, bro. And what's her name?
Latoya.
Latoya?
Yep.
Latoya. Woo! Boom. That's what I'm talking about.
She came through in the clutch. She helped me. But we struggled all the way up there when we got there.
Love it, man. So you showed it to 3 buyers. Now, I want to know the breakdown of this property here. How many bedroom and bathroom?
3-2.
It's a 3-2, and do you know the square foot?
I knew you was going to ask me that, and I thought of that right before I clicked that button. I don't know if it was 16 or 18. It was 16 or 18. I'm not sure.
Sure, no problem. So
it might have been 18.
No problem. So we put 1,800 square feet. And let me see here. And so what was the rehab on it?
Rehab was less than 20K. It was like around 15. Yeah, like around 15.
All right. So 15K. And what was it currently rented for?
It was being rented for $950.
It was okay. So it's rented for $9.
It was supposed to be 1,100, but I guess she had worked out a deal with her tenants where she was gonna lower it or something. Okay. But it was supposed to be 1,100, but
gotcha.
950.
Gotcha. Okay. So market rent. So market rent is 1,100. But this lady is renting out to the renter for $950. And a lot of times, you guys, the landlord, the people that self-manage them, they typically like to do it lower than market rent because they like to keep the renter. They don't like to do the whole turnover, etc. So, and so let me see. And what was the ARV on it, Gary?
Like 105, 110.
Okay, so 105K. And what do you got under contract for?
39.
Dang, bro. 39K under contract. And what do you assign it over to the buyer for?
56.
56. And now my question for you is that this buyer here, was he gonna fix and flip it, or is he gonna keep it as a rental?
I think he's gonna keep it as a rental, but I don't think he's gonna keep that renter because she was having issues with him before the whole sale happened. So, but I think he's gonna rent it.
He's gonna keep it as.
Yeah, he might put a little bit of work into it and keep it as a rental because it's close to a college over there. So they never really had any issues renting out their places because there's a bunch of college students over there. So they pretty much kept them.
Gotcha.
Like,
Gotcha. And the thing is, you guys, I'm asking Gary all these questions about the property. It's important because if you come across something similar, you will know how to deal with it. All right. And let me break the number down really quick for you. Okay. So if this buyer here is going to keep it as a rental, obviously this is amazing cash flow. You cannot find this in my area. You know, typically landlord people, you know, most people like to go with the 1%. So if they buy a property for 100,000, they like to get $1,000 in rent. But obviously, depending on the area, in some places, you know, people buy the property for 100,000, they get $800 in rent, and they're okay with that. It really depends on the area. But I'm saying the typical rules of thumbs for rental property is the 1% rule. So if you pay 100,000 for the property, they like to get back $1,000 in rent. That's the rule of thumbs. So typically after all the expenses is paid, you like to net about $250 per door. All right. Now, if that's over your guys' head, I'm sorry. So in this case here, this guy bought the property for $56K. All right, $56K. Let's say he's going to put $15K into that. And I'm not good with math. I'm going to whip out my calculator. $15K. So now he's all in at $71K. And let's say all the closing costs and all the fees, let's just round it up. So he'll be in it at 75 G's. And he's probably going to not keep the renter, put up at market rent. I mean, this is amazing cash flow. He's bringing in $1,100 a month, and then he's all into it at 75K. And the ARV on this property is 105. Now I know that this channel is all about wholesaling, but let me do a quick math for those of you who wants to get into rental property. When they say no money into the deal, this is what I do. Check this out. So this property is worth 105. Okay, the bank typically will loan on a property. So check out, this guy here will have $0 into the property, and he cash flow this monster. So 105. And obviously, you know why we like to, you know why investors buy it under 30% discount? Because what they can do is they can refinance. Hey Gary, I'm sorry to go off topic, man, but we're going to finish your story.
No, it's fine. I'm learning. Keep going.
All right, man.
I learned some more.
So 105, all right, 105. And typically the bank will loan on it at 70%. Some bank, if you have a relationship, they'll loan on it at 75 or 80% on the ARV. So if I just use the 30% minus 30%, so the bank will actually loan on him. Hold on a second. 105 minus 30%. So he can go to the bank, and what he's gonna do is call a refinance. So he's going to go in there, a cash out refinance. So now the bank is going to loan him 30% on the ARV. So the ARV is 105, you minus 30%. So which means he can get a loan on this piece of property here from the bank for $73,000, $73,500. So you guys know what that means? He gets to pull all of his money back out, right? Because he comes in, he pay all cash, he take all of the cash. The cash could be from private or hard money, doesn't matter. So we're estimating he's going to be in about between 71 to 75,000 all in. He goes to the bank. So typically after he remodel, he gets the renter in there. All right, doesn't even need to have a renter in there. Once he rehab, and the bank likes you to you got to hold it for a seasonal period about 3 months. So you go in there, you rehab it up. After you rehab it, you bring it up to ARV, which is market value, and then you refinance with the bank. And now he pulls all of his money back out. He has $0 into this property. You guys, I'm sorry if all this is over your head. So he went in there, he refinanced, pulled all of his money back out. He has zero money into his rental, and he's getting $1,100 in rent every single month. Obviously, whatever the mortgage is, etc., right? Whatever the mortgage is on a $73,000 in tax and utility. But do you guys see what I mean? He has $0 into the property, and that's what we do with our rentals. And that's what you take your wholesale money and you pop it into rental property. But anyways, dude, I'm sorry to go off track on that. I just got a little bit excited, and I just want to work out the numbers and letting you guys know that, you know, people go in and a lot of times they don't buy property to fix and flip. They buy properties. I mean, it's almost like this guy it's doing a fix and flip, but now he gets all his money back and still keeps the property and get a cash flow. So awesome, man. So this here is an amazing deal for him, right? An amazing deal for the buyers. And Gary made 17K off of it. Now, so when the buyer goes in there, when you did the showing, Gary, were you there and the seller there and the buyer there, or how's that work?
Yeah. I made sure I told the seller to just, I didn't want the seller and buyer to meet, obviously, so I just told the seller to let the tenant know that they're coming. And then as far as the vacant properties, I was just like, hey, could you mind? Because all the properties they own were right around their house. So I was like, in the morning, if you can go to the vacant ones, unlock them, and I'll let you know when there's somebody seeing it, and then you can go back and lock it at somewhere around the early evening. And so she didn't really, I mean, they didn't have to do much. They just had to go unlock the places or call the tenant and say, hey, so around between 1 and 3, somebody will be there.
Nice, man. So basically at the so on the first deal, it was a rental. So you told the seller that the buyer's going to be there between, let the renter know. And did you have to be there to show the property with the buyer?
No.
Okay.
They just went. I mean, like I told you, we had already struggled to get there. So I had the pictures and I had videos. And if they wanted to do their own due diligence, of course they would want to, then they can go see it. But I couldn't meet them 2 hours away over and over. That would be impossible.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So now, how much of a non-refundable? Did the buyer have to put down?
See, that's where I messed up. It's the crazy part. They didn't really have to put anything down because I didn't even well, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I wanted to get my first deal closed. And so when he came to me, he was like, hey, I want an option period. I know you're supposed to do no option and get a non-refundable deposit, but I gave him an option period and I let him use his assignment contract. That's another mistake that I made because I didn't pay attention. I was just so in a rush. I was like, look, I got to get a deal closed by 2019. That's my goal. I got to get at least one in. But he had a refundable deposit, meaning that if he didn't close, he can get his deposit back regardless. Whether he backed out, I backed out, the seller backed out, and then he it was only like maybe 2,000, and I wouldn't have got it anyway because if it didn't close for any reason, he was going to get it. And then he had an option period for like 4 or 5 days, and I'll never do that again because it's nerve-wracking because I remember I waited down to the last moment. Like, I didn't find out that he put the deposit down until Monday, and he had done it on Friday. And so I didn't even know because he didn't tell me, the title office didn't tell me. Nobody was saying anything. Title office closed over the weekend. And so I was just sitting here like, I don't even know if he actually did it. And it was a stressful time. But he did it and it closed. And so I'm happy about that. But I'll never do that to myself again because that had me really nervous for a long period of time.
I hear you, man. And I've heard so many newbies making mistakes about not having buyers putting either enough non-refundable because that way they don't have enough skin in the game, or letting the buyer take control of the whole thing. And pretty much, pretty much some of them, like just like you, Gary, don't even take the non-refundable deposit, or just let the buyer take control. So remember that I know you get excited. I remember the day I got my deal. You excited, you want to get it done. So you're like, hey, I don't want to piss the seller or the buyer off. I don't want to upset him or her. I don't want to say something wrong where they can, back out of the deal or cancel the deal. This is like, you get all excited. So you don't want to cause any issue. So you just.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I let everybody take control. Like, and I knew better in my mind. I was like, this is not the way it's supposed to work. But the buyer was saying this, like the buyer saw my assignment fee, and then he started calling me like, hey, you know that I probably can't do this for more than, and he was trying to like chop down the assignment fee, and then the seller was like, hey, somebody called me and was like, they'll give me $60,000 more. So everybody was just going like this, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, gee, if I would have like laid the ground like I was supposed to with the seller and the buyer at the very beginning, I would be a lot more peaceful right now. But the seller was coming at me, the buyer was coming at me like, they're gonna give me more. He was like, yeah, I need to give you less, because he was fine. He loved the deal, was super excited until the assignment contract came and he seen my fee on there. And then he was like, yeah, well, I can't do it for this amount. And I was like, I felt like he was kind of trying to take advantage a little bit, because I was like, hold on, you were super excited about the deal all the way up until you seen how much my assignment fee was. And so I talked to somebody else about it, and I was like, what should I do about that? Like, they weren't even in real estate. It was just some person that I was talking to about it. And then I was like, I would feel stupid if I just let him chop my assignment fee all the way down to like $3,000, because that's what he was doing. And then so I was like, should I stand my ground even though I'm completely broke, and just stand my ground and possibly lose everything? And then they're like, you're going to feel worse if you let him chop it down and walk away like that. And so I was like, you know what? I already don't have any money. So if he walks away, I still don't have any money. So I told him, I was like, nope, I can't do that. And I was like, if anything, I'll take a couple thousand off of it. And then like maybe 12 hours later, he was like, hey, I'm good to go. And then just left it alone after that. But he really was trying to like chop that assignment fee all the way down to like a few thousand at the most.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Gary, dude, I want to say, bro, for getting it done, bro, dude, that is awesome, man. So I want to say congrats on that. But you guys, you got to understand that in this business that, obviously I believe there's some great people, good people out there, but there's also comes to a time where you come across buyers that are like this. They're worried about how much you're making instead of should be worried about how much they are making and what are they gaining from it. And when it comes to assignment fee, that's where it becomes a problem. And for some of you guys want to know is like, well, Khang, how can we prevent something like this? So basically what it is that if you guys got one of my package, right? One of my package in our contract, I'll show you kind of how to be able to still get your assignment fee without doing a double closing and not having, and the buyer will not be able to know how much you make until like 3 to 4 days, until they have dropped off their non-refundable. So what I did was I come up with some creative, because as we were doing, there were assignment fee where we did it for 45, 50 G's, 60 G's, and I still assigned it. I didn't do a double closing on it. And the reason why I didn't do a double closing on those is because the price of the home was just like at the $400,000 mark. So on a 3% on a $400,000, I'm sorry to get your guys' head here, to like go kind of off topic here. So 400,000 on a 3%, that's 12K. Because when you do a double closing, basically what you're doing is that you're paying all the seller closing costs, because you're actually buying the property. Okay, you're paying all the closing costs on the seller side that you promised. And typically in our area, it's roughly about 3%. And I think that it's kind of all across the board, plus or minus. It shouldn't be very far off, but 3%. And obviously the buyer pay all of your closing costs. So you don't have to worry about that part. But that would have been 12K off of our deal. And sometimes I do a double closing because depending on the buyers. This buyers here, it's kind of like I was 50-50, not sure. So instead of doing that, what we did in our contract is that I share with you guys. Basically, you on the contract, all you do on the assignment agreement, all you do is you tell the buyer to put down X amount. You don't tell them how much on the assignment agreement. You don't tell them how much the fee is. You just let them know what's the purchase price that they agree with, right? And then you tell them whatever the amount that you want them to put down as non-refundable or whichever amount that was agreed. And on that kind of assignment fee, I typically get 10 or 15, even 20,000 G's non-refundable. So once they put down the non-refundable, then 3 to 4 days or 3 to 4 days before closing, I will have to send them an addendum. So I send them an addendum, and that's all included in the package. I'll send them an addendum telling them that and then at this time, I will show them how much we make. So typically it goes like this. The assignee shall pay an assigner, which is you, an assigner, in the total amount of, okay, and whatever the total amount is. At that time, they will know how much it is. Then you will send that over to the title company. Now, let's just say you're like, well, Khang, what if they have a problem at that time if they don't sign? Well, guess what happened? They lose their non-refundable. See that? So when the buyer has skin in the game, that's how I get away with doing with not doing a double closing and still assign it. There you guys go. There you guys go.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna use that.
Use that, bro. Use that. Use that all the way. And how quick was the? Oh yeah, you mentioned already. So 24 days. 24 days closing.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the buyer, I had it under contract for that long, but with the buyer, I think it was only like maybe 10 days from the time he actually seen it to the time it closed.
Gotcha. 10 days closing. Awesome,
yeah,
man.
Well, maybe closer to my.
Awesome, man. You guys, for those of you who are out there emailing me, DMing me, telling how like your situation where you're at, go Khang, I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of this. Let me tell you, there's only two things. Either results or excuses. You choose. You cannot have both. You can either have excuse or you can get results. It's only two things. All right? But you can't not get both. And I mean, you have listened to Gary's stories. I mean, the willpower that this guy got to get it done. Unbelievable, man. I want to say bravo, bro. Dude, man. Dude, if I was over there, bro, we would have go out for a big dinner, bro. A big celebration, dude. And bring your sister along.
Yeah, she deserved it. We bought a bottle of champagne though, did our little toast. Like, thank you so much.
Heck
like
yeah,
you helped
bro.
out big time.
Heck yeah, man. So you mentioned that you also closed on the second deal, right? Or has it closed yet?
Yeah, it closed the very next day.
Dang.
It was a couple grand. It wasn't nowhere near as big as the other one, but I'm all good for the money. So like it was good.
A couple grand is better than no grand.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. So, Gary, people want to know, if they want to reach out to you, connect with you. Oh yeah, let's talk about the deal that you got. So you said right now you currently still have how many deals under contract? Gary.
Sorry.
So how many deals do you have under contract?
Oh, 3.
Okay.
I know it looks like we're breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you. So you still got 3 deals under contract, and where and you don't have to give the address. People can contact you if you guys want to help Gary find a buyer or work out this deal together. So what's the area?
It's in Stephenville, Texas.
Stephenville?
Yep.
Stephenville, Texas. All right, you guys. I'll make sure I'll put all of Gary's contact info in the description, so check it out. So, Gary, what are some word? Okay, first of all, how do people contact you, bro?
Well, you can do Facebook. Just my name, Gary Madyun, GaryMadyun. I also have my business page, Madyun Real Estate Solutions, on there. As far as Instagram, 84G. I believe that's it, right? I don't even use Instagrams too much. I think it is 84G. 84 spelled out, G on the end. And you can find me on Instagram there. I don't use Twitter or anything like that. So, or if you want to email me, GaryM@madyunres.com.
You guys, I will make sure I have that all in the description. Dude, did you hear what Gary just said? This guy started out with having literally no money in his bank account. Now have a business page, bro. Come on, man. Loving it, bro. You know what I mean? No, he's having a business page. Dude, a year from now, Gary will be rolling in, 10, 15, 20, 50,000 a month, bro.
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm fighting hard. Like, if I can do that with zero, now that I got some money in the bank, I'm about to take off. I'm ready to go.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, Gary, what are some what are some last word for those that are starting out? You guys got to understand, Gary started, he knows he got exposed to wholesaling back in January 2018 and didn't close his deal until December of 2018. That's almost a whole year. All right. And some of you guys give up too soon. You give up. You're 3 feet away from goal and you give up. Those of you who know that story know exactly what I'm talking about. But Gary, what are some last words that you want to tell everybody that's trying to get their first deal done, bro?
Just do it. You gotta just go ahead and do it. Because one thing that I noticed, ever since you posted that picture up, I have some people sending me messages asking about how'd you get your first deal and all that. But one thing that I noticed that people have in common is that when you ask them, well, so what you done so far? And it'll be like, I just watched some YouTube videos. And it's like, well, you gotta actually go and do it. Before, and I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was in sales my whole life in customer service, so I talk to people on the phone all the time. But when you're doing it for yourself, it's completely different. I know if I don't talk on the phone, they're gonna walk me out of here. But when you have just yourself and you can not do it all day and you have to force yourself to do it, then it's completely different. So you gotta really just go out there and do it. Take a chance, take some of the knowledge you got from YouTube and run with it. Just get out there because you're gonna learn a whole lot when you're doing it. I had 4 or 5 contracts fall through before I even had a closing. That was because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was still determined to get out there and do something. And they built my confidence. Even when the contracts closed, not contract closed, but even when they fell off, I still was like, okay, I got another one. All I got to do next time is do this, and it finally built up to a close. But get out there and just work it. So you'll get one. I got one. I got one with a cell phone. You can get it. Just one cell phone.
Love it, man. So Gary actually just refreshed me on some things here I want to share with you quickly before we wrap this up. Some of you might agree with me and some of you might disagree with me, but comment below and let me know. If you do agree with me, smash a thumbs up, comment, and let me know. Some of you guys are so afraid to go out there and put a piece of property up on a contract because you're afraid of this, of that, of this, of that. You can't find a buyer. So you're so scared to pull the trigger. And that is what's holding you back. And what I'm about to tell you is this is how you break the ice. You break the ice exactly like what Gary did. That's exactly what I did. Is that you go out there, understand that you're not out there to put anything under contract, right? But what I'm telling you is that when you do the best you can, you talk to the seller, you already do your due diligence, and you be like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if this is, put it on the contract. You got to understand that just make sure that your contracts, that has the contingent in there. The contingent that I put in there is typically, is this purchase and sale agreement shall be approved upon buyer partner inspection approval. All right, something like that. So as long as you have a contingent in there, if you can't move forward buying the property, if you can't find a buyer for the property, you can back out. And for some of you guys, that might be the icebreaker for you. So break the ice. Once you put on the contract and then you can't find, like Gary did, and then he just fell on his first one, he said, oh, okay, so nothing really bad happened. See, a lot of time you're afraid. Fear comes because you don't know you just don't know, like you're afraid because you don't know the outcome. That's why you're afraid. Fear is because you don't know the outcome. Once you know the outcome, like you already know what it is, so you're not, like, why would you be afraid, right? So what I'm telling you is for some of you, the icebreaker might be go out there, lock the property up on the contract, and if you can't find a buyer, you just cancel the deal. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and put anything on the contract. I'm just saying you go out there, you call the seller, you do your thing. But if the numbers feel like it's there for you, lock it up and then do your thing. All right. And once you figure out that you can walk away, cancel the deal, walk away, nothing happens, then you'll be like, oh, wow. Then that fear will be gone. And from that moment on, you just.
Yeah, you also learn a lot just by, even if you have something wrong on their contract, you start learning what people are looking for, because a buyer will look at it and be like, no, if it was this or that, then I'll be more interested. And then people start telling you what your mistakes are. You can build off of that.
Yep. Agree. I agree with Gary, because when you send it out, they're going to tell you, oh, your ARV is wrong. Now oh, I did my ARV wrong. And then they said, oh, your rehab is wrong. Now you know that your calculation on your rehab is wrong. So yes, you get feedback, and then that's how you make changes. Most of you are so afraid to make mistake that you don't make a move. Make that move, right. And if it's wrong, then you can adjust. That's the only way, right? That's the only way. And just like Gary said, just do it. And one last thing I want to share with you guys is buyer. When you deal with buyer, let me tell you something that's going to help you a little bit here, where if you were being put in a positions like Gary is, where the buyer is obviously trying to basically what they're doing is they're trying to take advantage of you. And so this is what I want you to do. And you don't want to cause any problem because it's your first. I know. I mean, I can still remember the day where I'm trying to get my first deal, and it was my first wholesale deal, and I kind of let the buyer saying this and that. And so let me share something with you. What you want to do is you want to put a wall in between, and that's when your partner comes in. I don't care if you have a partner, invisible partner, your sister, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your little nephew, your little niece. Put a partner in the middle. So now what you're doing is that you're not going to come off as a jerk because you're afraid, oh, maybe if I upset the buyers, they're going to try to not move forward on it. They're going to try to go behind my back. Let me tell you something. Let's say Gary and I was partner, and the buyer is, let's just say Bob. The buyer's Bob. I say, hey, Bob, you know what, man? I mean, I would love to do that with you, but I chat with my partner, Gary, and Gary said that, we need that non-refundable. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm playing the good guy, putting the bad guy on Gary. All right? Now what you're doing is that you are laying down the law, but you also being the person that comes off of the good guy that I want to make the deal work. But you're putting down the law using your partner as the person that he's the one that's laying it down. So basically what it is that's gonna basically so basically it won't cause any conflict between you and the buyer because they're dealing with you. They're like, okay, Khang is nice, but Gary's the one that his partner's the one that having issue, right? His partner's the one that having issue. His partner's the one that want me to put down this. So put somebody in between there. And you might ask, well, Khang, what if you talk to my partner? Saying, no, you know what? We deal with this deal together. So my job is to work directly with you. Gary, my partner, he's super busy. He got some other deals that he's working with. This is just something that he wants me to tell you. All right, so say something like that. But anyways, you guys, that's just that's it for the interview. I want to say thank you so much, Gary, for coming on, man. I do appreciate your time and your willpower getting it done, man. I love it, bro.
Hey, it was awesome being on here. I said I was going to be on here one day, and I finally got it done.
Woo! Heck yeah, man. And yeah, bro. Dude, Gary, on my Instagram, bro, it must have been your handsome look, bro. Because man, your post, dude, got the most the quickest. Dude, over 600 likes on a for how many followers I have. That's outrageous, bro.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's awesome. That's why I want to break a record or something.
Awesome, man. And you guys, I'll make sure I put Gary's all his contact information in the description below. Now, if you do enjoy this interview, you recently got your first wholesale deal done, remember to email me at wholesale2millions@gmail.com and let's get you on. One last thing, Gary. Hey, are you gonna go to the Max Maxwell meetup, bro, in Texas?
Oh, I actually planned on it. And you know what? That's crazy that you asked that, because I was just talking about that earlier this morning. Because I said if I got my deal in time that I would go. So it looks like I'm going to be going to do it.
Gary,
are you going out there?
Oh, dude, you haven't been watching my IG story, bro. So
oh, no, I don't see your Instagram very often. I haven't been up on Instagram yet.
Okay, for those of you watching, listen up, Gary. So when you buy the tickets, right? When you go buy the ticket, you guys go buy the ticket at wholesalingelitelive.com. And when you buy the ticket, Gary, put in the code wholesale2million, man. Punch in the code for me, please. Wholesale2million. I'm not an affiliate, dude. I don't get paid for it. They just need to track where the people are coming from, and I want to show them that, man, the Wholesale2million family, is strong.
Yeah.
So punch in the code, dude. I am gonna be there, and I am going to do something special. I don't think that, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think that there's any masterminding, any speakers will do this. On that day, I'm not about talking. Obviously, you guys can find my stories on my YouTube. You guys can get inspiration, motivation from somebody else. But on that day, Gary, what I'm doing, dude, is that I'm doing deal live. And the reason I'm doing this is because that's what I was searching for. That's what my wife and I was searching for when we first started out. It's when we go to this meetup or this mastermind or this kind of seminars, is that we want to be able to see deals doing live. So any deals that you guys have, I don't care if it's an old deal, it's a follow-up deal, I don't care if it's a cold call deal, you bring your deals. I analyze, all together, we'll be in a room, we'll analyze your deals. We either call the seller back, call the buyer back, do whatever we need to do to get a deal done. So on that day, it's not about talking to me. It's just about doing deal. So Gary, on that day, dude, I'm going to be there. For those of you, it's March 22nd to March 24th. When you buy the ticket, please just do me a favor, please. Punch in the code wholesale2millions, all right? Wholesale2millions. So that way they know it's coming from the Wholesale2million family. And it's March 22nd to 24th. And on that day, we don't talk. We don't BS. We don't talk jippy jabby. We're doing deals, live deals. Any deals you guys got, bring it, and we'll do it live. So for those of you who don't have any deals and you're new, man, those days are so important because you kind of know the process. How's the seller? How are we going to talk to the seller? How are we going to put a deal up in the contract? How it's going to transition to the title company? How it's going to transition to talking to a buyer, setting up showing. So if you got buyers that you are needing communication with, setting up, I'll get on the phone and I'll do it for you. That's what that day is for. It's not for me. It's for you guys. So be there.
Yeah,
Gary, thank you so much, bro.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you for having me on here. I'm glad I finally got to do it. I'm super happy. Great start to 2019.
Woo, dude! And I wish you massive success. And I look forward to seeing you at the event, bro.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the channel too. Helped me out a whole lot. Invaluable.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, you guys. Ciao.